Okay, so today's the day that I review the new Lil Xan album, Total XANARCHY. Now, I am completely split on this album, on whether or not to call it one of the worst or okay at best. And the main reason behind that is, as the album starts off, it doesn't really set up anything. It just says that the Xanax bars that this man has taken does not make him who he is. After getting signed to a major record label like Columbia and finding some kind of virality, to your music off of one single, then building off of that and making another halfway decent single, and then meeting up with those executives again after you've gone back into the studio and supposedly poured your heart out into the music that you're trying to make for the fans because this is your debut release. You're trying to do something that captures the world, strangles everybody, and lets them know that Lil Xan is here to do what he does in the rap game, at what he does best. And you literally shook hands with the executives and said, I am going to do what I want. There's nothing wrong with creating the music that you want to create, but you should at least put a little bit of heart into it. You didn't pour your heart or your soul into it, you poured freaking lean into it, and then you doused it with a little bit of Xanax as a garnish. And then nothing came to fruition. You were so high half the time that you wrote the songs that the ones that actually mean something meant way more than anything, like Diamonds. It doesn't make sense how you could go into the studio, sit down and listen to the beat for Diamonds and think, I gotta repeat everything that I say on this. I gotta repeat everything. If I don't repeat it, then it's just not getting to the fans, man. It's just not. And far be it from me to say that repetition is horrible when it comes to hip-hop. There are a lot of good songs that have repetition in them, and even songs that reuse the same verse because you want to emphasize the pit of loneliness or the pit of sadness or the pit of anguish and whatever kind of deep, dark abyss that you want to put yourself in. The Bright Side is a very, very good song by Lil Peep. And honestly, if you thought about it, you could listen to Come Over When You're Sober Part 1 and then form it into a new age, semi-Nevermind, semi-Good AM by Mac Miller, semi-NERD album, insert whatever one you have here, because if those are your inspirations and those are your reasons for wanting to stay alive, why wouldn't you sit down and evaluate what you had to write? Diamonds is the worst song on the album, and even at its good moments, Moonlight is, it's awful. Whoever invited Charlie XCX on the song, because we know that although you do have an understanding of popular references, and you enjoy people of popular status in music and in life, because that's just how you are as a 21-year-old. You know things. You don't know everything, even though you claim to do so. You get her involved in the song and she phones it in like nobody's business. I haven't heard such a lackluster, passionless performance on an album ever. I have not heard even the people that aren't affiliated with artists, as in Joey Badass being affiliated with XXXTentacion, their genres barely cross treads ever. And they got together on Infinity and it sounded great. But you could have had a true radio single on your hands, and instead of wanting to get in the studio with her and talk to her and try and mold this picture of a song that you're trying to put together for something that would pass yourself down from generation to generation as if it was Frank Sinatra's My Way, and you decided not to do that, and you thought it was okay because however many pills or lean bottles you've taken up throughout your day. I'm sorry, but if I was on promethazine, even I would know that this was messed up and incorrect. I wouldn't be able to listen to the music, man. And half the stuff that you have on here, when it shows its positivity of an artist consumed by his craft, I get so excited when I heard Betrayed. I got really excited when I heard Basically. I got super excited when I heard Colorblind. Although it was just a little bit of Diplo doing his thing, there's nothing wrong with that. But why wouldn't you make the album more like everything else that's good? You could evaluate songs that have talking about things that are of higher status that some people wouldn't know about. Lil Peep made Ben's truck, and I know I keep referencing him, but it is the only face of reference for someone like him, because he looks like the Goodwill version of Lil Peep. You could at least face your inspiration happily. You could look at even some of Mac Miller's songs that talk about some of the high-class products that he has purchased over the years, and you could see that not everything needs to have no. Because if I hear on another person's record that the diamonds are wet or white, I couldn't understand exactly what he was saying. There's nothing wrong with mumble rap. But under the context, I would imagine he was saying wet. So that's understandable. But it's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. If you're trying to make yourself a, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't really think of it because, flagship. There we go. You're trying to be the flagship rapper for this type of music. It's okay to be a SoundCloud rapper and gain some kind of substantial fan base and do bigger things. That is the ultimate goal for everybody. But when you look at your fans that have helped you get from the ground up in a matter of 2 years, apparently, based off of my research, he's been in the game for 2 years. So if he started 2 years ago and this is where he's at now, I would be very, very happy in like the next 5 years if he ends up making even better music. So if this is the foundation of your home that you are laying for yourself, that is totally fine. And if you end up making the same kind of music for a little while, that's also fine. But right now, I don't see you exceeding 5 minutes of fame. Most people go in for 15 minutes and then they're done. They are completely done. If this is your MC Hammer moment, you aren't even worth freaking Hammer Dance, man. You don't even have the Hammer Pants on to complete the Hammer Dance with. You don't have a single piece of virality outside of the fact that your singles helped you. And even at that, when your lyrics are involved in the song, they make sense. But the other ones on this album just... You're grasping for straws when the drawer is empty. There's nothing there. And it doesn't make any sense. So if you want to help your fans understand that that dark and evil place that they go into is something that they can escape, and when they get to the level of success that they want to be and they can actually flex a little bit, then you can let them do that, but you have to make it at least understandable, because not everybody can afford diamonds. Some people can only buy cubic zirconia for the rest of their life. And a lot of people are happy with that. A lot of people can buy faux gold chains and wear them every single day. I myself, I wear chains that have weird things on them, and that one of the weird things I have is an anatomical heart. The other is a pickaxe or an ice pick. Whichever way you want to look at it, that is me. That is a symbolization of me climbing the mountain of life. And you can definitely do however you want to, because there's nothing wrong with getting a set of grills and putting them in your mouth and wanting to make an image for yourself. You can do that. But when you start hindering what you want to have as your image down the line, because when you look back at yourself in 20 years and you think, man, I just didn't take advantage of what I had. That's what it's showing right now. You're not taking advantage of the liberties that you have being signed to a major record label outside of the couple big names that you have on the album, and one small name of which I don't know. Steve Cannon wasn't really that interesting on the verse anyway, and YG, small mention on that. YG was on a different kind of beat for once and didn't sound half bad outside of the A on his verse. But that's pretty much my opinion on this. A 21-year-old that tried to sass Tupac in his grave, and he had his firm opinion on that, and then people made him double back on it. So you're not a man of your word, first of all. You're 21, so you try and think like you know everything, and then you try to say that you're trying to push an anti-drug message when you're still addicted to drugs. So if the process of addiction is still going on with you and you need rehab, maybe you should go and find that. Only when you're ready. With that being said, my name is Ethan, otherwise known as Two-Face. This is episode 17 of Claws, everybody. 17! Utterly amazing. There are another couple albums that have come out today, one of them being Famous Dex's album, Dex Meets Dexter, and then the Flatbush Zombies album as a surprise drop for today. I cannot wait to listen to those. I will be reviewing those respectively next week on Tuesday and Friday. And then that's pretty much it for today. So, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you enjoyed it and you feel like watching more of me rant about hip-hop artists in the good, bad, positive, whatever, for about 8 to 10 minutes, subscribe. And if you have any comments, please comment below. I'm willing to imagine some people are going to be angry at the fact that I didn't really like his music, so that's totally fine with me. But until Tuesday, I enjoyed listening to this album because it definitely given me a moment to understand what exactly he's doing and what his main purpose is in hip-hop, which right now doesn't really seem like much. But until Tuesday, I will see everybody then. Have a great weekend. Peace.